Welcome to lesson number 2 in accounting ethics. This lesson covers chapters 2 and 3. Chapter 2 is titled Principles and runs from page 6 to page 12. Chapter 3 is titled Applications and Definitions and runs from page 13 to 23. We begin with the purpose and principles that underlie the Code of Professional Ethics of the American Institute of CPAs. This code is a list of positive statements that guide the work of the professional accountant. The preamble to these principles calls for an unswerving commitment to honorable behavior, even at the sacrifice of personal advantage. This section goes on to describe multiple instances of how accountants fail or violate this call. The next section is titled Principles and Rules, known as the AICPA Professional Code of Conduct. Membership in the AICPA is voluntary, and so is adherence to the code. A number of these rules of conduct are spelled out in this section. We will examine them in detail in class. You might ask, why is it important to have this code even though it is only voluntary? And the answer is, again, as we discussed in the first lesson, it's something that people have to hold themselves to. A code of conduct is not a set of rules or laws under which we can prosecute. So it's a sort of a internal conscience type process. The articles of the Code of Conduct are listed in the next section. We begin with 6 articles that list the principles underlying the various rules of conduct as follows. Number 1, responsibilities. Number 2, the public interest. Number 3, integrity. Number 4, objectivity and independence. Number 5, due care. And number 6, the scope and nature of services. As you can see from the titles, we've already discussed these principles many times. The next 2 pages present 5 multiple choice questions about the principles, together with the answers to each. We will study these in class also. Chapter 3 begins with a discussion of applicability and definitions. Note that the requirements for independence were shifted in 2001 from the audit firm to the audit team. The rules apply to all members of the AICPA. A number of terms are defined in this section, including a relatively long list, which I will give you now: the attest engagement, the client, the definition of a close relative, confidential client information, the counsel, covered member, financial institution, financial statements, firm, holding out, immediate family, individual in position to influence the engagement, institute, interpretation of the rules, joint closely held investment, loan, manager, member in business, network firm, normal lending procedures, terms and requirements, office, partner, period of professional engagement, practice of public accounting, professional services, and significant influence. As you can see from this list of terms, which I don't expect you to pick up from the video, but you do have it in your text, that it covers pretty much the entire range of auditor services and important concepts and terms to which you should have pretty good knowledge of their actual working definitions. Any kind of vocabulary list like this is prime material for multiple choice questions. Page 19 covers some questions and answers from the professional staff of the AICPA, questions they've been asked by members or students and to which they've responded. Page 20 to 23 covers multiple choice items similar to the ones found on the exam, and again we will work on these in class. Lesson 2 has 4 discussion questions, and as we discuss these in class, you may indicate that on the assignment part discussed in class is the wording to use to indicate that you have full credit for the assignment having attended class and discussed it with us. If you do miss class, you have to turn in these questions in writing. I think that pretty much summarizes lesson 2. It's fairly detailed, not that long, a lot of basic concepts, things we're already familiar with. I look forward to meeting with you again Monday night.